I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. Francesco Forgione was born in Pietralcina, Italy on May 25, 1887, in a humble family. Since he was a child, Francesco had the desire to consecrate himself totally to God, and every afternoon he would go to church to visit Jesus and the Virgin Mary. The ecstasies and the apparitions were so frequent that he thought they were absolutely normal. His health was very delicate, but at the age of 16, the greatest dream of his life happened. He entered the Capuchin order. He was ordained as a priest in the Cathedral of Benevento on August 10th, 1910. He was in various convents for health reasons. On September 4th, 1916, he arrived at the convent of St. Giovanni Rotondo on the Gargano, where he lived all the rest of his life until his death on September 23rd, 1968, where, by the way, he is buried and his body is incorrupt. Father Pio of Pietralcina, spiritual heir of St. Francis of Assisi, was the first priest to have the signs of the crucifixion imprinted on his body. Since 1910, he received the stigmata invisibly, and on September 20, 1918, praying in front of the crucifix in the choir of an old small church, Father Pio had the gift of the stigmata of Christ. Father Pio began his days by walking up long before dawn to pray. He did it with great fervor, taking advantage of the solitude and silence of the night. He visited Jesus in the sacrament for long hours daily, preparing for Holy Mass, from where he drew the necessary strength for his great work for souls by bringing them closer to God in the Holy Sacrament of Confession. He confessed up to 14 hours a day. He had the gift of knowing things before the person said them. In confession, he saved many souls. Father Pio carried out two very important initiatives, one towards God with the foundation of the prayer groups, and the other towards the brothers with the construction of a modern hospital called House of Alivio del Sufrimiento. From all over the world, people came to St. Giovanni Rotondo to see him. Before coming to see me, he said, go to Monte Gargano to visit the place where St. Michael the Archangel appeared. The stigmatized friars also had the gift of bilocation, that is, of being in two parts at the same time. For example, during the war, the major commander was thinking of committing suicide, and Father Pierre appeared before him, telling him, don't do it. When he convinced him, he disappeared. When the war ended, the general entered a church where Father Pio celebrated Mass, and when he finished, Father Pio approached him and said, you were very lucky to escape, my friend. 3 days before his death, he said, I know that I'm going to die soon because the stigmatas are already disappearing. And by the way, his body is uncorrupted, let's remember. Father Pio committed with all his might for the salvation of souls. He lived more than 50 years in prayer, humility, suffering, and in sacrifice, all out of love for God, because he knew that with God we always win.